I'm an Xboxer. And this is an Xbox. So is this, and this, and this, and this
is an Xbox. Well, apparently.
Ever since the first Xbox launched in 2001, rumours have swirled about a hypothetical handheld Microsoft console which would let you play your games on the go. Now, it's finally here. The Asus ROG Xbox Ally, what a name by the way, has been released worldwide, putting an end to more than 2 decades of speculation. And now that I finally got it in my hands, let me tell you what it's like.
It all feels quite good. The sticks are nice and solid, the D-pad is perhaps a little bit plasticky, but that's okay, as are the face buttons, though they do have a nice click to them. So too do the bumpers. The triggers feel really nice in the hands. It's got these nice little back buttons as well. These grips, as well as the way the weight is distributed, means that even though it is a bit heavy, it actually doesn't necessarily feel that way. And of course the screen is really nice and really vibrant. Enough of that. This is a portable Xbox. Let's take it outside. If you're like me, you've probably accrued quite a lot of PC games over the years that you haven't played. Well, this handheld Xbox is running Windows, so it'll play basically anything that works on your PC. Although if I'm really honest, I've spent most of my time just playing Persona. Compare that to a game like Baldur's Gate 3, which came out a couple of years ago. Well, this one doesn't quite work so well. I actually had to turn the settings all the way down to the lowest possible to make it even work properly on this thing. Not all games are optimised right.
Let's do this.
But with so many games running so well, the obvious question is, why hasn't Xbox tried this before?
Have there been efforts in the past to do this? 20 years of people asking, you must have at some point tried to do it before. Why didn't it work in the past? Why did it work now where it might not have done before?
Yeah, to your point, we're always thinking about what the future of gaming is and new ways for people to be able to play. So when we really started looking this time of re-entering the handheld space, we really looked at all of those dynamics, player behaviors, where the industry is going, where the technology landscape is, and even just how games are built, and now felt like the right time to really enter into this category.
And this category, handheld game consoles, is particularly busy.
We've already had the Nintendo Switch, one of the best-selling consoles in history, and we're on to the Switch 2. Why you'd get a Nintendo console over an Xbox One? Probably play Nintendo games like Pokemon's running there. And it's not the only console that can play PC games either. Valve put out the Steam Deck a few years ago, and that can play games from your big Steam library too, although it can't play games on Game Pass, at least not easily. And there's another player in town too. Sony has the PlayStation Portal, which allows you to play games directly from a PS5 you already own, or that big library of games you got on PlayStation Plus, their own cloud gaming offering. In short, there's a lot of rivals in the space.
And back in the great outdoors with the ROG Xbox Ally X.
The thing that this really excels at is Game Pass, Microsoft's cloud gaming service. Basically, you pay a monthly fee and you get access to hundreds of games without having to buy them individually. It's like Netflix, but for video games. I'm actually right now playing a game which I've connected to by tethering this to my phone. I'm playing this over the internet. That's pretty cool.
And you can play all sorts of games on Game Pass, not just new ones, but titles as old as the original Xbox console too.
Great games are timeless, and I think we not only feel a need, but also a responsibility to preserve the games from the past and enable them to be played in entirely new ways.
Any chance, just for child me, would be so unhappy if I didn't press you on this point, Are you going to bring more original Xbox games to Game Pass in the future?
So what I will say is I can't announce anything today, but in 2026, it's the 25th anniversary of Xbox, and we want to celebrate the great legacy and the history that we have with Xbox, as well as defining the future for where the Xbox ecosystem's going. So I can't confirm or deny what you're asking, but stay tuned. We have a lot of exciting things to share next year.
But not everyone's excited. Critics have pointed out Windows doesn't always work properly. There are mixed opinions about how the controller feels, and as I said earlier, some of the most demanding games simply don't run very well, and that's before you get into the numbers.
Okay, so this thing works great as a portable handheld. You would expect it to though, considering it costs quite a bit of money. It's $600 for the basic version, or if you want this, the version with all the extra power, that's a full $999.99. It's not a cheap thing to buy.
And it's got another trick up its sleeve. You can plug it into ASUS's Bulwark dock and use it just like a PC.
Because it's now docked, it's connected to this monitor as well as this keyboard and mouse, which means I can actually play the game on a big screen. And it doesn't just have to be on a PC with a keyboard and mouse game. You can do this in the living room as well, and you can control a game with a handheld controller, which means that this thing actually gives you quite a lot of options. It's not just a handheld PC.
It may have taken 20 years, but after such a long wait, Microsoft's created something its rivals simply can't. The first handheld Xbox, which is actually quite a decent Windows PC.